Okay, this one's for you, my love. They have a quantum computer, right? They've invented it. It computes so fast that it goes into the quantum level. Quantum level being that the calculations are so big or so small that a regular computer can't handle those computations. So this quantum computer can, though. And now they have found two particles. And it's very interesting that these are the first two particles they found. They're new particle states. One can change into any state of matter, any at all, but it doesn't stay. It fluctuates. So it's a particle that can change into any state of matter, but it does not hold that shape. So it can stay based on, if you look at it and want it to be something, it'll change into something. But then when you look away, it goes back into whatever state that it is, that particle state, without actually turning into matter. Now, the second particle they found changes and holds a particle into that matter that it's been in or changed into. So you've got one that changes and fluctuates into states of matter but can't stay. And then you've got another one that locks it into place. So you've got the fluctuating one and you've got the lock. And I'm having trouble explaining it, but the first particle, for lack of a better analogy, is the fluctuating particle that you can choose to be anything, and this is what happens in the quantum state. It's just fluctuating. And then the second particle is the lock. So when you pair them together, it locks into place what you want to turn from energy into solid state matter. Meaning that this is what happens when you have the observer effect. What I'm explaining right now is exactly what happens. These two particles come together. One is locking and the other one is changing into the physical state of matter that your intention locks it into. So you've got manifestation and your lock. Those are the two particles that they've just found. So I find it very interesting that those are the two particles that they first found with the quantum computer. And the reason I find it interesting is because I feel like this is an ancestor simulation. It's already been written in the science articles that they feel like that's what this is. So along with it being a light matrix, it is also a simulation. And so what I feel is happening at this point is that the simulation has occurred in certain areas like there are certain markers that are not going to change. There are certain things that are happening that are solid. The story's been written, the matter is solid. The way that it goes is it's going to be that way that it goes. And then things that happen in between are the things that you choose in order to get there. So the timelines fluctuate based on what you're going to do. So each timeline has their set marker points or their set node points. And then you fluctuate in between those timelines based on what you choose. And there's infinity timelines. And so you're fluctuating between all of them, and then you're choosing the outcomes you want as you move along. And then you are collapsing those into waves. You're collapsing that wave, into matter, and then it manifests into your life. So, make sense? Maybe not. Anyway, back to the quantum computer. That means that in the future, there will not be any need to kill anything. There will not be any need to harvest anything, because using a quantum computer, it will be easy to go ahead and make something that you want to eat. You can make something that you want, like you want to draw that day. You want to do something. Well, if you are working with a quantum computer that has the particle physics, that has the particle that can change into any state of matter, and then you have the lock particle, then you can use a computer, a quantum computer in the future, to theoretically make you anything you want. And math is accelerating so fast, not math, but science is accelerating so fast based on math that it's exponentially expanding. Like we've already passed the critical mass point to where we are light years speeding ahead. So what I'm talking about now is not just theory. But you're going to see stages of it develop in the next decades until it is actually true. And I would give it, I mean, everything's going to be happening and evolving probably within the next 100 years. And it's going to go very fast. So people want open contact. That's probably going to happen by 2027, based on what I'm seeing in the trajectory of everybody's awakening, because they can't come to the planet until everybody's vibration reaches a certain threshold and they can actually be seen. And so they're already here. They come in the water. Water is a portal in the ocean, and they're here. We just have to be able to reach that vibratory rate that they are at in order to be seen. Right now, what you're seeing in the sky, excuse me, that's my dog. What you're seeing in the sky, those are probes. Those are probes that are just here to monitor. They're actually probes that are monitoring you. If you're seeing the probes, they're your probes. They're monitoring you. Because you are your own matrix. You collapse your own matrix in real time. You collapse your wave as you're walking, as you're thinking, as you're breathing. You just do not realize it. Once you come to a level of awareness where you actually know what you're doing and you realize what you've been doing, then you can start to affect it on a quantum level with energy work, which is what I've been trying to teach people. Not very successfully, because it's hard to go from esoteric to the physical, especially when quantum physics is the bridge, and it's a mathematical bridge, which people are starting to understand more. But it is still a tough one, because math is such a concept that was taught to us in such a very awkward way. It wasn't used with real world concepts, so people in school had difficulty with it. They had difficulty conceptualizing the numbers, and that's not your fault. Anyway, hope this helps. It's pretty exciting. Ancestor simulation coming right up. One order to go, please. Bye.